Okay, how can I tell which or they're there to use? Yeah, so that's a good question. There is no magic answer to that, Betty. I think we really just have to go back to basics and make sure we understand the distinctions between, for example, which. Okay, there's a dead pen. Into the bin. We need a sound effect for that, like some kind of crazy bell or something. The difference between which connects clauses, and which is kind of like the evil sorcerer lady from the Wizard of Oz. You know, she has a big broomstick or something, and she has magic power. I don't know of any special technique of distinguishing them. That's a grammatical word. They sound the same. It sometimes does help to draw pictures or have pictures and put the word with the picture. There's a lot of us are visual learners. I'm a visual learner. I need to see things. I need to do them as well. And sometimes putting the picture with the word, maybe on a card or a document of some kind, creates an association that sticks in your memory. And maybe make just a sentence with which, like, I don't know, which is which, and then you can draw the which here, and then maybe put G for grammar. That's a grammar word, G for grammar. Something like that, making it visual helps. One of the things I wanted to do with English weirdness, for example, was make grammar visual. So we have animations, we have dramatization with characters and students to make it, to give it the language a context. Because just learning it in a sentence floating on a board or on a piece of paper makes language abstract. And we want to make it real. So make it real with a picture. That helps. As for the classic there, and there, maybe our viewers know a tip a tip for memorizing that. I don't have one, but I can certainly explain the distinction. And sometimes that helps because maybe there's a hidden truth for some people that they just don't know the difference. Maybe they didn't learn it correctly the first time when they were young. There is a possessive pronoun. So that would be like, it is their car, right? Let's make possessive here. It is their car. They own the car. Or it is her car. Or it is his car. You know, putting those words together, it makes them similar, makes them part of a group. And you could have a sentence like that, right? But that's a pronoun in front of a noun. Whose car is it? It's their car, or his car, or her car. That's a different grammatical function than they are friends, right? They are friends. That's your subject. That's your verb, and that's your object. And what happens is, especially in speech, we want to make things shorter. We can cut that off and put an apostrophe, and then they're connected. But that's what that function is. It's subject and verb together. And we can say it like that, there. But you have to remember that that is a subject and a verb together in one piece. Hey, they're friends, right? You're saying that's the subject, that's the verb, they're friends. Or those grammar points, they are difficult. They are difficult. That's a very different position and function in a sentence than this is, for sure. This is your subject, that's your verb. Okay? And the last one is there, which is the word indicating location. So you could say it is. Let me just put that. There's two positions that there in this spelling often goes in. One is here. There are cars in the street. Okay? It's a subject, it's a verb, and you can't collapse those the way you can here, right? You could also find this word in the other position. It, or let's say the cars drive. The cars drive. Where do they drive? We want an adverb telling us where they drive. Well, you can say there. They drive there. That's telling us the location of that action. I don't know a tricky, simple way to memorize the distinctions. I think it's important to understand what they're doing because they all sound the same. There's no doubt about that. And that is a confusing feature of English. No doubt about it. Bargain Betty, I hope that helps. I'm going to clean the board. And what do we have next? Jimmy Hart. Aiko. Let's look at Electrobot's question. This is a good question. I think other learners out there can collaborate on this and get involved. Tell me what you guys think. Collocations are expressions that involve more than one word. I'll give you an example. A very common expression is, hey, are you coming to the party? Well, it depends on my schedule. It depends on my schedule. This is really a phrasal verb, but it is a collocation because it's two words. And there's no other word you can use here. A lot of people say things like depends of. In English, that doesn't work. This is a phrasal verb. It's a phrasal collocation. They always work together. Or according to. According to my research, it will rain tomorrow, right? It's always according to. But the question here is, how can I make sure if collocations that I use is correct and is used by English speakers? Well, that's a great question. Collocations, if you want to know if they're correct or not, there's a couple of things you need to do. One is you can study the actual collocation you're using. You could input it into Google, for example, and check if it comes up. If it doesn't come up, it probably doesn't exist. It probably isn't used. Another thing you need to do as you're learning, as we learn, we take our textbook or our CD or your video or whatever you're getting the information from, and we put it up into our brain, right? We learn it. We absorb it. That's not the end of learning, though. That's what we call bottom-up learning. It comes from a textbook, comes from a video, it comes from a teacher in a classroom, and it goes up into your brain. But that is not where learning ends, okay? Learning continues because now you have this knowledge or information in your brain, but you have to check it and test it in the real world. That's called top-down learning. So what you need to do is when you learn something like that, when your teacher teaches it on the board or I teach it on the show, now it's in your brain. Now you have to listen out there in the world, okay, whether it's on TV or videos, or if you're in an English-speaking country, pay attention, okay? And when you hear someone say it, that's when you go, I know that expression. I learned that on Paul's show. That's when you take your knowledge and you connect it to the real world. Then your information becomes knowledge and your knowledge becomes awareness and becomes skill because then you can use it. So you have to learn to pay attention. You have to listen carefully. When you're on the bus, listen to what people are saying. If you're in a cafe, listen to what people are saying. Do you ever hear the people in the cafe saying, it depends at my schedule, it depends for my schedule, according for my research? Do you ever hear that? You won't hear it. And if you do, it's just someone making an error, which is also possible. But collocations you have to absorb. For example, as a kid learning English, I don't remember ever learning a list of collocations. Okay? I picked them up from daily life. People use them. People put words together. can't think of a very common one off the top. Maybe someone could put one in the comment box. Common expressions that may involve 1, 2, or even 3 words. If you're not in a country where English is spoken, you have a challenge. So I recommend Electrobot World. Watch English TV. Watch videos. Tune into our show. Listen to the English you're hearing. And check if you ever hear those collocations, right? And of course, you can always ask a teacher. Ask me on this show. We broadcast every week. So if you have a collocation you're not sure of, come on the show and say, hey, Teacher Paul, is an accurate piece of English. Do you have one now? Put it in the comment box. If you have something you're thinking of, please, that's what this show can do for you. We can check things. Great question, Electrobot World. Okay, let's have a look at Luis Arturo's question. This is an interesting one, and it causes a lot of confusion. Okay. People and person. Now, people is a plural noun. Okay? So if you make a sentence, you need to say people are nice or people are something. This is considered a plural noun. Okay? Now, it's already plural in its meaning. Right? The meaning of people means more than one. It could be 2, it could be 1,000. It could be 7 billion people on the planet. But it's got plural in its meaning. So you don't need to use an S to tell me that it's plural. Right? It's already got it built into the meaning. So you agree with the verb with are. Okay? Person is singular. That person is nice. Okay? This means one human being, one person. It's singular. Okay? So far, so good. That person is nice. And you're pointing to one person. Now, I just told you you cannot make this plural because it's already plural. It's got plural meaning built in. And this has singular meaning built in. So how do we make that plural? What if I see one person there and another person there? How can I express them together? Should I say persons? No. That's when you switch the word to people. There are 2 people in this room, right? If you have more than one person, switch and use people. Because as I said, people can mean 2 humans or 7 billion, but it can't mean 1, okay? So if you're talking about more than one person, just switch to people. However, there are a couple of exceptions. And I think this is what Luis is talking about. Sometimes we do hear that, but that has a very specific meaning. When you hear that word, you're talking about cultural groups of people. So, for example, in South America, I don't know how many, Luis, maybe you know, but for example, in the Amazon area, there are different culture groups of natives, of indigenous people, and there are different cultures and tribes. So we can say peoples. There's one group of people here. There's a different group of people here. There's a different group of people here. So we can call them together the peoples of the Amazon. Different cultural groups in the Amazon. And there's more than one, so they're plural. Okay? That's when you use that. And it has that specific meaning. Different cultural groups of people. So one group is people, but they're different than this group of people. And they're different than this group of people. Right? A country like Canada has a multicultural society. Now everyone's pretty much mixed and integrated together. But you could say there are different peoples in Canada. Different cultural groups in Canada. Okay? Persons has a very unusual meaning. This is often used in law or law enforcement. So police, they often talk about, we are looking for 3 persons of interest. Okay? Now they're using the plural because this is not a group of 3 people. They're not all similar. Each one is maybe guilty of a different crime. So they are very distinct, right? One might be the criminal, one might be a witness, one might be another witness. They don't know each other, but the police are looking for them. So the police want to tell you that they're looking for 3 distinct persons, not a group of 3 people that did a crime together. We're talking about 3 different specific people. And they want to make sure that you know that these are distinct persons. I'm not sure. Maybe someone out there like Bargain Betty on the moon could help us. But I think under law, an individual human being is given legal status as a person, right? A citizen or a permanent resident of a country has a legal status called personhood. You exist. You're a member of that legal society. So it might be a legal entity term. I'm not a lawyer. I only know a little bit about law, but I think that's the case. So they call these a legally residing human a person. So it's a very specific term. So if you're not talking about politics or law or crime or police, you probably won't hear this. So hopefully, Luis, you don't need to hear this because you're not a criminal. Stay out of trouble, please. And maybe you might use this when you talk about different culture groups back home or even here. Different peoples of the world, right? Different peoples means different culture groups. Oh, Osama has a good question about P and B. Let's pop that one up, and then I'll move to Aiko's question. So this is a good question. And it's related to the pronunciation of these sounds. And Osama, as I recall, you're an Arabic speaker. And for an Arabic speaker, this is a challenge because in Arabic language, you don't have 2 different sounds, you have 1 sound, right? It might be similar case to the Japanese language where you have 1 sound that's similar to L or R in English, but in English, they're different sounds. And you need to make them. Why do you need to make them different? Because if you don't, you might say this. I'm a pretty tall person. And I remember a student, not you, Osama, but another student from an Arabic-speaking country told me this. Teacher Ball is a pig man, a pig guy. It doesn't sound very nice. It sounds like I'm like a pig guy. Right? Like a pig. Now, I like to eat, but it's not, I don't want to be called a pig. But if you don't pronounce it big, it'll sound like pig, which is this guy. So Paul and big are different sounds. Here's how you make them. In both cases, we put our lips together. P for Paul. Big, ball, but. So the lips come together to make that sound. But there's different ways of using the air. This is what we call an unvoiced sound. So you just push air out. P, just air coming out. This is a voiced sound, so we need vibration down here. When you say ball, you should feel vibration down here in your throat, in your voice area, your larynx. Buh, ba 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 ba, pa 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 pa. It's just pushing air out, a little explosion of air. This has vibration, so it produces a deeper sound. Paul, ball, ba, 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 ba. There's vibration there. You should feel that. But the lips are together. That's just not the full story, right? Lip movement is part of it, and airflow is another part of pronunciation. B, b. The vibration comes first, the lips kind of stop it, and then release it. Here it's just the air comes up, the lips stop it for a second, and then release it. B, b. There's a vibration first, okay? That's really all there is to it, and I think it's just a matter of practice, Osama, to make those distinct. And you definitely want to make them distinct so you don't call people pigs when you just mean they're big. You know, in a classroom, it's just fun. It's a fun error, but you could offend someone who's not your friend or classmate or teacher. We're about halfway through, guys, so I want to shift gears a little bit and mention something. So let's go to the graphics. Yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but I want to touch on it again. Our show costs a lot of money to make, and we want to continue bringing it to us. So if you are interested, I'm not forcing anyone to do this, but it does help. We have a Patreon page, www.patreon.com/hardboiledenglish. And if you would like to support our show, we have several different packages available for support. This is monthly support for as low as $7 a month. Now that's Canadian, so I'm going to have a look at that. It should say $5 Canadian. But anyways, $5, $10, or $30. And you get different rewards for each. For example, the $30 associate producer package, it says 40 here. You get some merchandise like these t-shirts. You get a free t-shirt for your monthly support, which we really appreciate. You can choose the product. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have cell phone cases, we have these tea mugs, coffee mugs, lots of different products available. We even have some masks. We appreciate any support anyone can offer. So if you can, and you're able to and willing to, please consider it. We'd really appreciate it. Also, with the associate producer package, you get a private lesson with me every month. The other thing is, where are we here? Yes, upcoming masterclass. If you're interested, guys, I'm putting together an essay writing masterclass. And this will involve a Zoom classroom with several students. And it will be probably about 10 hours, 10 hours of dedicated writing training. So if you're looking for help with your writing, let me know. You can contact me. We have my email somewhere in the caption. Let's pop that up. Email me and yeah, here we go. Yeah, email me and tell me what you need help with or that you're interested in the masterclass. It will be. I will try to make it as affordable as possible, but that will depend on how many people enroll in it. So far, we've got a few, but I need a few more to bring that cost down and make it convenient and affordable. So if you want help with your writing, if you're in college or something, think about that. Contact me and let me know. Let's go back to the caption, the chat box for a minute. So let's see if I need to say hello to anyone. We have Saud Abdulaziz. Saud, welcome back. We have Tran, I think. Tara. Araceli from Mexico. Welcome, Miss Araceli. You've been with us before. Yeah, we have Tran. Tran, where are you from? Sounds like you might be in Vietnam. If you are, thank you for joining us. It's wonderful. Chris has a quick question here. Oh, do we miss her? Aiko, yes. Let's go to Aiko's question. So I'm confused. Which verbs should I use when I say every student is or are, or each student is or are? Yeah, we talked about this last week with Luis. Chris Derboven asked this question in a video question, and I'd like to spend more time on it. Perhaps I can prepare a nice chart for next week because there are some categorizations here. When we talk about each and every, I can't make a chart here, but if you talk about two or more units, like persons or people, let's say each student, if we have, how can I draw this? 3, let's say 3 plus. If you have 3 plus and 3 plus, you can use either one. Okay? It doesn't really matter. The same meaning applies. So if you're talking about a class of students, you have 15 students, say, you can say, every student here will write the test tomorrow. You can also say, each student here will write the test tomorrow. The meaning's the same. Okay? If you're talking about a less number, let's say three or less, then you should use each, because then you're talking about a specific group, specified individuals. So right now in this room, there are 2 of us. So I can say each of us has a job to do when we run this show. Each of us. I'm talking about less than 3 people. I wouldn't say every us about us 2 people. That would be strange. So every should not be used with less than 3 people. Okay? I would start with that. And what I'll do is I'll bring a chart and I'll post it to show a couple of exceptions to this thing, Aiko. Hopefully that answers your question temporarily. But I think I'll be talking to you soon so we can talk more in depth about it. You could also check last week's episode because we talked about that with Luis. What else do we have here? Electrobot. Let's pop that one up. That's quite a sentence. So this is the sentence you wrote, as I understand it, Electrobot World. Since... Put that back, please. Since powerful empires captured significantly effective ports and lands, they embarked on a quest of exploring abroad in order to find gold, silver, and other valuable materials. The grammar's pretty good in this. Metals, yes. The grammar's pretty good, but I think there might be a problem with the logic. When we use since, we are either saying because, or we're saying since a time, like since I was a child, or since 2010. Here, it looks like you mean it in the subordinating clause, because powerful empires captured significantly effective ports and lands. Because of that, the result is they embarked on a quest. However, which comes first, embarking on the quest or capturing the ports? It seems to me that they embarked on a quest of exploring abroad, right? And as a result, they captured ports. So I need to know which one you are saying is the cause here. Which one came first? Because I think they might be backwards. The grammar looks good, though. The sentence is nicely written, but the logic of cause and effect seems backwards to me. Unless you mean because they captured some ports, from there they could continue exploring. If you're talking about European explorers, for example, they would capture certain ports like Hong Kong or even in South America, down at the end in Argentina. They catch that, and that allowed them to stop and then resupply and go for other quests. Okay, capturing is first. Okay, then it should work. Capturing is first. Okay. I would say this, though. I would say to make your cause and effect sentences absolutely clear, use the word because. It's clearer than since, because means cause and effect. Because powerful empires captured. And I would also say this. I would add this. It would probably be more accurate to say they were able to embark. Right? Because they captured ports, that gave them the ability to embark on quest. I would add that to make it absolutely clear that one thing led to the other and one thing enabled the other, right? So it's not just one thing happened and then another. You want to make that cause and effect absolutely clear. Yes, the collocation is correct. Embark on a quest. That's fine. Yep. Very good. Okay, guys. I'm going to hold the questions for now. We'll review the chat and see if there's any outstanding, and I'll address them next week. But I'd like to bring on a guest. He's a frequent collaborator, frequent guest host. I'm going to check in with him and see what's new on his end of the world. He's an educator, a language coach, and the CEO, owner, operator of On the Spot Language. Let me get my sound up. Let's bring him on. His name is Anish Dea from On the Spot Language in Toronto, Canada. Sorry, I've got a tangle warp of audio cable here. Anish, just give me one moment.
No worries.
Leave the nightmare of cables I have to deal with over here. It's crazy.
Oh, good.
I want everything to be wireless. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much for asking, teacher. Paul. I love it.
How are you?
I am excited to be embarking on this English language learning, teaching, coaching adventure with you. It's a lot of fun, and I love how you said the is from it's a voiced sound, right?
Yeah, it's got a real vibration to it.
Whereas the is just the sound is not coming from your throat, but just your lips, and just the air is just coming out. So even if you were to hold your throat, it's like it's not bull. Yeah. I remember one of my Arabic seriously, Queen's Bark. You know Queen's Bark?
Queen's Bark, yes.
I mean, oh, you mean Queen's Park. Queen's Park. I was like, oh yes, Queen's Park. Right.
Anish, let me just check with you. Can you just unplug and then replug your audio cable? We're getting a bit of interference here.
Okay.
You can hear that. Are you picking that up? Can you say something, Anish?
Plug it back in.
Sounds good.
Is better now?
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
Thank you for that.
Good.
Yeah, those sound distinctions are important, and
sound not clear.
I find that learners have a hard time with it because their language doesn't have those sounds.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a problem because they think they don't need to learn those sounds, but those sounds are important in English to distinguish the different words. So you do have to think about it.
No, it makes a big difference for sure. Thank you, Aya. Thank you, Tran, for clarifying that my sound is much better. Thank you very much.
Better.
I just wish we could have everybody on here right now, and let's just go through a circle of just making sounds and pronouncing the and p. But that's very cool. So let's see what's new in the world here. What's going on? What topics
You're over in
are
Toronto?
the hot topics?
How's the first of all? How's the weather over there?
Yeah. So the good thing about Toronto being the fact that we're in Ontario, and Toronto's a little bit lower down in Ontario, it's slightly warmer, but it was mild today. It really feels like spring is here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about 5-6 degrees, which is pretty good, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it's definitely warming up a little. And I know Vancouver, is it rainy yet? No.
We had some sunny days, and then it started to rain today. So I think we have 3 or 4 rainy days coming, and then I think then spring will break open.
Yes.
Cherry blossoms will pop.
I remember one of my students went to Vancouver, and before she went, I taught her this song, and it was a rain song, which we
Hmm.
learn as children. And I don't know if anybody else here knows. Maybe Aya, Araceli, Electrobot. Maybe you've heard this. I'm sure Betty's notes. Betty, Bargain Betty has heard this song before, but it goes something like this. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. Anish and Paul want to play. Rain, rain, go away.
That's pretty nicely done, Anish. Very
There
good.
you go. It's a rainy song. Exactly. So if it is raining, you could just say rain, rain, go away,
Hmm.
come again, another.
Another
And it's
day.
good for practicing some sounds.
Another.
Another day.
Yeah.
Then you can say na 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 na. So Anish and Paul, or Anish and Ara, or Paul and Aya, or Paul and Tron want to skate or play. You're just
Okay.
skating
You
in the
can
rain. No one
put
wants to
new words
skate
in
in the
there.
rain. Um, and I'm curious, are there any kind of weather sounds or weather songs in your language?
Good
Um,
question.
my daughter actually said, and when it was snowing, says, "Daddy," I go, "Yes." She goes, "Do you want to build a snowman?" And I go, "Ah, Frozen. Okay, good one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
have you
familiar.
heard that song?
I've never
No.
heard it. I've never seen Frozen,
Okay, fair enough.
but
Do you want to build a
it must be
snowman?
really cute coming from your daughter.
It was very cute, absolutely. And then she transitioned from that into a joke, a Frozen joke.
Okay.
Um,
Can you
does
share
anybody
it?
like to hear jokes? Please put up your hand. And I'm wondering, his background seems familiar. It's similar to Room in ELS.
Can we pop Osama's comment up? It
Oh,
seems similar to ELS.
yeah, I don't know.
Where are you? Where are you streaming from, Anish?
I am streaming from Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Hmm.
Osama, okay, has a joke. Bargain Betty has lots of jokes. Okay, so I have a Frozen
Okay.
joke for you. And I'll actually share a link to the video of my students telling a few jokes. It's pretty awesome.
Perfect.
Um, so why shouldn't you give Elsa a balloon?
Why shouldn't you
Why?
give Elsa a balloon?
I wonder if I can type this out quickly.
Sure.
And
Why shouldn't
why
you give Elsa
shouldn't you give
Elsa?
Elsa a balloon?
Should I
Now,
ask who Elsa is?
oh, right. So Elsa is one of the main characters. Um, Thank you, Tron, for complimenting my my daughter. Loves joking. Every day she always says, "Hey Google, tell me a joke. Hey Google, tell me a joke." And so she learns lots of jokes. So why shouldn't you give
You give
Elsa a
Elsa a
balloon?
balloon.
And I said, I don't know. Why? And she's, because she will let it go, let it
Oh,
go. Come on. How many people out of 5 stars? How many stars would you give that joke? 1 is not good. 5
hmm.
is like, that was amazing. Everybody type right now. How good or bad was that joke?
Let's look for the number
Okay,
here.
Osama's giving 6 crying, laughing faces. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Let it go.
yeah. So type in the
What's
number, or maybe type in how many smiley faces, like Osama
hmm.
did. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So why shouldn't you give Elsa a balloon? Because
What's
she will. Because she will. Ooh,
shield?
Electrobot 4.5. Osama 5 out of 5.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Tron, amazing.
5 out of
Chris,
5.
5. What? No way.
Mm.
Okay. You know what, Paul? I think I'm going to share my Instagram
Yeah.
link.
Please.
And if someone, okay, here we go. I'm going to share it.
Let's
Um,
put his Instagram link up on the screen when he pops
and I'll
in.
actually send you the exact link to the joke.
Okay.
maybe. And if they comment on it, well, I wonder, we should have a little competition here.
Yeah.
Do you think they should comment and comment on a joke, maybe, or
post a joke. Can
or
they post a
post
joke?
a joke? Okay.
And we can maybe review them next episode, next show.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to share
Five
a link
stars.
here.
Aiko's so kind.
I don't know. I don't know if you can actually click on the link when I share it on YouTube. Is it possible to?
If it's in the chat box, I think they can at least copy and paste it. Should be able to copy and paste it.
All
There's
right.
the
Well, I
link.
posted it on Facebook as well there. Oh, you can click on it there. So if you go and check it out, there are actually 3 jokes
Okay.
on that post. If you go on there and maybe heart, or if you type in your favorite joke, then maybe I could sponsor a prize, and maybe we could choose a winner, and somebody could get a hard-boiled English mug or T-shirt or cup.
Let's do it.
Oh, so what you'll do is, if everyone goes on that link and either types in their favorite joke or comments on their favorite joke, and be sure to hashtag, is it Teacher Paul, your Instagram?
Hard-boiled English. Everything hard-boiled English.
You have to tag hard-boiled English. And then if you do that, Paul and I will go through everybody's comments, and one lucky person will win one of Paul's products. We won't say which one, but yeah, you're right, Tron. You can probably imagine the way my daughter said it, and it was because, Daddy, because she'll let it go, and you have to sing that part. And so, yeah, I love jokes, but I guess, where did this come from again? Oh, you were talking about weather, and then do you want to build a snowman? And then to the Frozen joke. See how one thing can lead to another? I guess that's the way it works.
I have to say, if your daughter told me the joke, I'd probably give her a 5 or a 6 out of 5, but I don't think I can give you a 5. I smiled, but I didn't quite laugh. And maybe it's my fault because I've never seen the movie Frozen.
Yes,
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
How many people have seen Frozen? Can you just type I have, or I haven't. Surely most of you have seen Frozen.
And use present perfect, because we don't know when you saw it. We just know that you experienced it. I have seen it, or I have, or I haven't.
Yes. So I have seen it. I haven't seen it. I'd like to see it.
How many times have you seen it, Anish?
One of my students' favorite focus sentences is "too many to count."
Too many to count.
Osama has never seen it. I've heard of it, Electrobot. I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it yet, Electrobot. I haven't watched it yet, or I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
When we say heard, when we say heard alone, that means we heard a sound. If we say heard of, it means we've heard people talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And the pronunciation, Paul, I don't know if you can write it down. I've heard of it. Heard of it.
Yep.
Heard of it. I've heard of it.
It sounds like heard of it.
You got it. Beautiful. Yes. Look at that pronunciation. I've heard of it. I've heard of it. But I've never seen it.
But I've never
seen it. Do you know Teacher Paul? I've heard of him, or I've heard of his show, but I've never seen it.
Never
Well,
seen it.
nobody can say I've never seen it because you're watching it right now. I have.
But
Oh,
last week,
Chris, you haven't. Sorry, go ahead.
some of we have new viewers today. So last week they would have been able to say, "I've never seen him."
Right.
There's a
Okay.
few
So
new
Osama, I
friends with us.
haven't. Electrobot, haven't, but heard of it. Luis, I have. Aya, I have. Chris, I haven't.
Mm.
I haven't, but I saw the trailer or I've seen the trailer.
Yeah, Tron. If you say "I saw the trailer" with simple past tense, we need to know the time. I saw the trailer last week. I saw the
Right.
trailer last year. If you're not going to mention the time, we need to use present perfect. I have seen the trailer.
Okay, cool. Tron haven't, Aiko have, Bargain Betty have. So I think we're 4-4
Huh.
here. Okay, we're pretty even. Anyway, that's a frozen joke. So I challenge you guys and ladies and gentlemen and women and all of you. Let's see if you can use that joke. And I wonder if they could even go on the hard boiled page and even record, or you know what, send a
Submit a video.
video
Yeah.
of you telling this joke,
Good idea.
send it and have somebody else say, so why da, 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 da. Then have your friend or your daughter say, I don't know why. I don't know why. So every time you say a joke, what da, 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 I don't know what. So if the question or the joke starts with why, so why shouldn't you? Why? And you can even do like this, the body language. Why
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't you give Elsa a
A
balloon?
balloon.
Why shouldn't you? So whoever can do that, also, if you can do that, this is like bonus now. If you can do
Bonus.
this
Yeah.
as a bonus, and we'll show your video
Mm-hmm.
next week, or Paul will show your video.
Yeah, we can do
Oh,
it.
please come on. Oh my goodness, Osama, please record your nephew and niece. Teach
Mm-hmm.
them the joke in English.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't you give Elsa a balloon? Then
Make
you
a
can
video,
answer,
Osama.
Osama or Tron. I don't know. Why? And then the important part in the punchline, you can say, because she will let it go. No, pronounce so. Because she will,
She'll.
because she'll. So raise your hands, go, because she'll let it go. And then just when you say let it go, release the balloon.
Mm-hmm. Little
Because
acting.
she'll let it go, let it go. All right. You guys have got a little bit of homework there. So I'm going
Yeah,
to
little
check
homework.
my Instagram
Mm-hmm.
page, see who commented one of their jokes or what joke
Mm-hmm.
that they like. And also, I really hope one of you guys can send Teacher Paul a video,
Send a
either by
video.
email or Hardboiled English,
Facebook.
post it
Yeah.
on there. Join his Hardboiled English group
Mm-hmm.
and post it to the group, and you can join his group and share it.
I think we have the. Yeah, here's the. Find me on Facebook. There's two places you can connect with me: Teacher Paul's Hardboiled English or Paul Duke on Facebook.
Yes.
Connect with me. Send me a video of this joke, and we'll bring Anish back
Oh
on the
my
show and have a
goodness.
review. And
Yeah,
we'll award the Oscar for best video
oh,
joke.
what? Yes. Oh my goodness. Paul will have your video. We'll present the award to you. Oh my goodness. Aya, I specifically challenge you to get out of your comfort zone because I know you like
Mm-hmm.
challenges, Aya. Ooh, and Ara, if you can do it with one of your students, because Ara,
Mm-hmm.
director of a language English school in Mexico,
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah.
and she could do it too. Ooh, tough homework.
Come
Tron, you
on.
know what? Murakami Haruki, a famous Japanese writer, he actually said There you go. There's the book. Paul can bring it closer to the camera. There's a famous Japanese author, Haruki Murakami, and he used this quote saying, learning another language is like becoming another character.
Hmm.
So if I'm speaking another language, 还有现在如果我讲国语跟你们都听不懂，对不对？ So if I'm speaking Mandarin, maybe my facial expressions and everything change. It's like, 你是哪里来的？我是加拿大人，还有我是加拿大来的。And you go, oh, Anish, you look angry. I go, no, I'm just speaking politely in
Hmm.
Mandarin. And
But
it's
it
like,
calls for different sounds and different gestures, right?
yeah. And so
Part of
if
the
you can
expression.
really use your body language and your expressions to really emphasize, especially in English, it's kind of more than 50% of communication,
I
right?
agree. I agree.
And it's also easier to understand people. Like, I don't need to speak fast as a native English speaker. How I talk to you right now is how I talk to my friends, really.
Hmm.
And so, if you listen to most of the best speakers in the world, they probably don't speak super fast.
Yeah, I think that's a myth our students suffer from is they're really eager to learn to speak what they say fluently, but they're thinking fast. Because when they're
Mm,
beginners, they have to speak
yeah.
slow and carefully. But you're right. I agree. I don't think you need to speak quickly or fast. Accuracy, clarity, good pronunciation, those are more important. I
Yeah.
also
I
think
mean, if
we our learners learn they worry too much about accent. I think accent is negligible.
Yeah, so Osama and even Aya or anyone else out there, Tron, if you ever listen to like Steve Jobs or Obama just giving a speech or
Hmm.
talking, they speak with really good body language.
Hmm.
They also speak very clearly,
Hmm.
and they also choose their words
Yeah,
carefully when they talk. And so, it's great. And so I you don't have to, like Paul said, fluency doesn't equal
it's not
speed,
speed. Yeah,
right? And speed doesn't equal fluency. Sorry. So, yeah, just
I
talk how
agree.
you like to, um,
I have
but
friends
yeah,
who are very slow speakers,
mm,
but speak great English.
yeah,
They're just slower in the delivery, but they speak really great English. I sometimes speak fast and quickly, and it's a bad habit because I
mm,
also tend to elaborate a lot. I tend to pack a lot of idea. I kind of speak in paragraphs, and so
right,
I sometimes start going too fast to try and squeeze it all in.
yeah.
It's a bad habit because it's a lot to absorb.
That's a really
So
good point. I think sometimes when I'm just really excited about something, I kind of start speaking faster and I don't even realize it.
yeah,
So, and
well,
I
that's
think
a
that's
good point
natural.
because sometimes if we want to express our excitement, the natural tendency might be because we're physically excited to go quickly. But there are other ways to express excitement, like with a lift of the facial gestures, right?
Yeah.
Or you can
And I,
express it slowly.
right. And I think that's really great with jokes
Hmm.
is if you say, you know, why shouldn't you give Elsa a balloon? Because she'll let it go. There's no feeling in it. There's just
Yeah,
no, huh? What? What do you
there's no
mean?
surprise because
Right.
you're just delivering words. You're not delivering the song. The
Absolutely.
punchline
There.
has to be the song. So that's a great
I
challenge, actually, Anish, is to get these
mm.
guys to make a video of that joke and send it to us. We'll put it on the show, guys.
And if you check out that Instagram link that I shared, you'll be able to see actually some of my students using it and how well they used it, and just see how much fun they're having. They're smiling
Hmm.
and doing it, and it's language learning should be fun.
Yeah.
Let's have a good time with it. Don't.
Language learning is very challenging and
Mm,
language teaching is very challenging. a lot of learners don't realize it, but being a teacher or a coach is very challenging. It's hard work. So we should all have fun. The learner, the student, and the teacher, we should all have fun together because it is hard. And we don't want to make it unhappy experience. We want to make it a joyous experience of learning and educating. So it's got to be fun.
And even the words, like, I think hard is okay, but I don't even like to use the word difficult.
No, it's just a challenge.
Yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah.
This is a challenge.
In my classroom, I used to ban the word difficult and easy.
Because easy, yes.
Because all you're doing is expressing how you feel, right? And it sounds like you're complaining.
Right.
If you say something's difficult, it sounds like you're complaining. Like, I don't want to do this because it's difficult. And if you say it's easy, or we should do this because it's easy, it makes you sound like someone who just wants to do easy things in life. And that's another problem, because most things in life are not easy. Not
Quick
after you're a child.
Question here, Paul. Is it so? Aiko's saying it's a challenge. It's a challenge for me to speak slow or slowly. It's a challenge for me to. It's a challenge for me to. It's a challenge for me to speak English, or speak slow or slowly.
Can we make Anish a little bit smaller on the screen? And I'll go to the board for a minute. And this should probably be our last question.
Yeah.
So let's do a little test like this, Anish and Aiko. Is it Aiko's question?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So if you just said this, no slowly, it's a challenge for me to speak. So this is the verb we're talking about, right? And if we want more information about this action, speak, how do you speak? Slow or slowly? That's a verb, so we need an adverb. And the adverb is slowly. Because it's modifying the verb. That's not a noun. Slow is an adjective, right? This is a slow song. Let it go, let it go. I'm not going to sing, sorry.
Right. No,
it's a slow song. That's a noun. That's an adjective.
Yeah.
But here you're modifying the verb, so it should be slowly.
And you know what? I want to really commend Aiko and Aya and Osama, and not just giving one word answers. You guys are really trying to communicate in sentences. And the more you communicate in type sentences, that makes Paul and I really happy, because then we can point out and pull out some of these little common mistakes that so many people make. So it's not just you.
It's not just you.
Aiko doesn't need to feel bad. Actually, we're even really happy.
She's a hero because she's given us all a gift. She's given us a sentence to look at. Right?
But now Aiko can, every day she can say, you know what, Anish? It's a challenge for me to speak English. It's a challenge for me to understand movies. It's a challenge for me to, but every day it's a challenge for me to. It's a challenge for me to. She can keep using that sentence, but get in the habit of saying it's a.
Because it's one challenge. So we need the article a. Anish, I think we're going to have to wrap up things.
All right.
I appreciate you joining the show as always. And we'll get some videos from our fans and friends here. And we'll do a review. We'll have a contest winner. We'll award the Oscar. We'll give away a T-shirt. So I want to say thank you to you. Take care, and we'll talk soon. Any last little advice for our friends?
I believe so. Osama has already posted on Instagram.
Okay, good. Thank you, Osama.
But he's just posted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crying, laughing emojis.
Okay. That's awesome.
I want your joke, Osama. Find a joke and type it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool.
Fabulous. Take care until next time, Osama. Anish.
Sure.
Osama, thank you for all your participation. Okay, bye, Anish. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys. Have fun.
Anish Dea from On the Spot Language, everyone. Thank you very much, Anish, for joining our show, as always. Anish is a frequent guest and sometimes co-host of the show. Always great to hear his perspective. And if you haven't, if you're not familiar with Anish's work, you can go to onthespotlanguage.com, I think it is, or .ca, and check out his school. You can find his videos on his YouTube channel, On the Spot Language. I think he'll post the link somewhere. Anish, if you wouldn't mind posting the YouTube channel link, that'd be great. And I want to thank you guys who are new to the show for joining the show. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining. For our regular friends, thank you for joining the show as always. Yep, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Teacher Paul's Hard Boiled English on YouTube. You can find all our videos there. I'm just going to go down the list and say thank you to everyone. Who do we have? We have the magic list. International friends from around the world, thank you for joining us. Electrobot World. I'm not sure where you're from. Osama, Osama, where are you right now anyway? Jimmy from the Philippines, thanks for joining us. Luis Arturo, thank you for joining us. Bargain Betty, thank you. Aya, Aiko, Chris, Anish, of course. Star Morad, thank you for joining us. Robin, Araceli, Tran, and Saud, thank you for joining us. Chris Derboven from Belgium, thank you for joining us. Oh, thank you very much, Tran. That's very kind of you. I love all you guys too. I really appreciate you joining the show, bringing your eagerness to learn English into the show. We have Daniela with us. Daniela, joining us a bit late. We're just about to close the show, but thank you for joining us. Maybe join us next week. That would be great to hear from you. Actually, Daniela, maybe we can get you on as a guest sometime. You can catch us up on things in the Latin community. I've been following some of your streaming and videos. Anyways, guys, thank you very much. Keep learning your English. Enjoy the blossoming of spring. Go out and see some cherry blossoms. Until we see each other again, thank you very much as always. I'm Teacher Paul. Stay safe and stay cool.